So in this version, um, this is I think I have to hide this fan. One minute. In this is in a really good position, but if it breaks below 3290, right, that would be the, I would say, first line of defense. Then this would the second line of defense, 2613. Why? Because then it will break below the immediate trend line. If you look at this one, right? So if you don't want to be very aggressive on your stop loss, you may not use this, but you may use this red candle, which is 2651. But I think 2651 is pretty low, right? So you may use higher level. So you may split your stop losses, multiple stop losses in between, like couple of them. So even if it comes down to this level and bounces, you will have cash in hand, in my opinion. Again, it's not financial advice. If you have tolerance to go up to this one, then it's all right. Setup is good. So right now, my bad. I didn't share my screen. Now should be okay. So on Ethereum, I think this low is 2650. This is critical because this is an immediate trend line. Okay, and so far so good. This supported, and now still it's above. So this is positive. If it goes up to this level, and then it should be able to shoot up. So, but the point is, if it melts and comes down, then you have to be watchful on, because I saw some weakness today. Ethereum has been very strong, but on a 1 day time frame, I started seeing some weakness. So we'll have to see how it goes, whether it if it ends up with some correction or you know continuation. I have to keep an eye on certain things. Filecoin. The Filecoin especially started doing well today, right? So this is the trend. This line is the trend. You see how good this is able to maintain, like bounce. This is like lifeline, in my opinion. So in simple words, if in case it comes down, it has to break out. So this is important, but around 56 level you can be on alert, right? So 56, and of course if this is broken below, which is 50, so then it's not good, because then this particular trend will be broken. Now sometime the trend angle of the trend uh, so could change, right? If you want to draw, you can draw this kind of simple line is fine. I don't think you need some complicated one. I'll show you. You can simply draw this on your local, because this is good enough. It's so simple. So now when you draw, so you will come to know when it is near. You can set an alert, and then if you see this is broken below, because you have to acknowledge one thing is, this has been supporting, this line has been supporting. It cannot continue doing it. If it comes under pressure next time, then the whole structure will collapse. So see, when it is here, it is the weight is lesser. When it is here, the weightage is more, because the whole entire structure is, this is like a foundation, right? And when it breaks, so if there is a big structure, then there is a deeper, there could be deeper connection compared to if this is broken below here, right? So that's the thing, because this trend is right now maintained. But let's say sometime what happened is, it could come down to this level, and the trend is tricky thing. When where it stops, you can also draw a line. See, as far as the main trend is concerned, if I zoom out, it won't, even if it comes down to 20 or 30, it won't break. What will happen is the whole wave will, this particular development will be erased. I mean, the gain will be erased, and then it will have to start a new one, right? So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but even if it comes down to this level 36 and all, which is big number, 50%, it is not going to make I mean, yeah, it is not going to make a, I would say it will not break the bull trend. It will just delay in that case. So, but if that has to happen, then it will happen to all the coins. It's not like Filecoin will drop and other coins will just go up. So right now we don't have a thing. So it's making progress, but this line can be kept in mind. FTM has been amazing. It is one of the most, powerful coins, I would say, strongest. So no words for this one. I think this right now is the strongest one. So all good with this. It's heading for the next level. R6, no brainer. Now FTT is trying to break above. So this is simple. This level can be kept as the first line of defense, 46 something, because these are the two key, bounces here. And then this level is given out this, so it requires about 62 for it to go. At this moment, there's no risk because it's moving sideways, but yeah, these levels can be noted. GRT, the GRT is one of the weakest one among the lot. I mean, if you look at it, it's touching these lines quite often. There's not enough space. One big push could change, because right now it's close to the bottom line, right, trend line, rather than this resistance. So that's why the risk is higher. So for this one, if you're holding GRT, you can consider this week's low, and then this week's low, and this week's low as your for your risk management. Very simple method. HNT, not bad. It's moving sideways at this moment, but the trend is down. Very small trend actually. The big trend is still up. The main trend is still up, no doubt. But if you draw, I mean, if you look at it, it's on edge. It's on edge. So this is on edge, correct? If it dips below, then it will go down further in this line. So something like this, it could create something like this. We don't know yet, but sideways move like this, and then maybe it'll make a move on that side later. But yeah, so this 14.85 was the previous resistance that can act as a support. This one, in this case, ICP, not bad. In last few days it improved, otherwise it was getting weak, but weekly scale it's still weak. Okay, weekly time frame point of view it's still weak. And similar thing, this is important. So in my opinion, this particular week, which is low, is 40.58, and then this week's low, which is 39.5. These could be kept in mind, and of course the last one would be this, in this case 37. So first defense, second defense, and the third defense, or maybe this one, third defense. So that way, if you plan, you're not worried, because market price action is not in your hand. What is in your hand is better, risk management, and I'm trying to provide certain levels which can be used, and this multiple stop loss method is excellent. I have to watch ship because it was very much volatile. Okay, IOTA, right? It's doing well, not bad on weekly time frame. It's about the support, holding up well. It lost its gain for sure. It was really doing well. It lost its gain, but not lost. I mean, the trend is still fine, right? So as long as it's about this support, it's okay. But then it will raise a flag if it goes down, especially if it goes below this low, which is 1.4, which one 1.163, then it raises a red flag in my opinion, because then immediate trend will be at risk. Then it could land somewhere here, but then you don't, I mean, then it's like drop wise depends on different, it's significant, right? 40, 40, 30. So right now there is no issue. uh Kawa, this is like moving within this rising wedge. This is upper bound, rejection, rejection, support, support. There's a lot of wiggle room here, because the support was here, right? So it could, even if it comes down to this level, it could still it would still maintain its trend. So that point of view, not a problem. Yeah, from a readiness point of view, it's not ready. It requires more height, at least 7.5, at least 7 or more, higher than 7 is minimum level. Then it should be able to continue on that song. Right now, it's still under pressure. KCS, much better, I would say. And for this one, 9.9 is the first, it's a support. Maybe, you know what, I can drag a bit. 9, or maybe I should keep it. And then this can be the first line, and then second would be this low, which is 9.1, like that. And then this could be the third one, which is 8.12. So first line of defense, second, third. And then in that case, if it goes down further, uh, and then bounces, you would have something in hand, right? To buy back. So you're not FOMO in that case. You can always re-enter. The beauty of multiple stop loss is, if it continue going down, you will, getting stopped out each level. But the moment it starts going up, you will have cash in hand. If you have just one stop loss, then it's tricky. Stop loss is needed, but it alt stop loss is very tricky, because if you keep very close, then it eats up. If it is too deep, then you lose a lot. So the approach that I'm suggesting is kind of a balanced approach, where you can have a close one, but not with the full amount. In a, that way, it does both the job. KSM is not bad. It's flat for last 3 weeks, moving sideways, doing nothing. So I would say this candle's low would be your first line of defense, right? And then say this candle's low, which is 276, and then this candle. So this candle. So this session is being recorded, so you can go back. I'm not spending a lot of time. You can go back and pause it and see what level I'm talking about, right? So this candle's low, this candle's low, and this candle's low. Three supports. Uh, this first, this is the support, very simple. This is, and then this second. Okay, two stop loss, I would say, would be good enough, because then if it goes below, then it will break the trend, the not the main trend, but the trend within this. So this is the main trend, this is correction, and as part of correction, this is bounce, and then another correction as part of the bounce. So the way you would interpret this wave structure is, this is main trend, this is counter trend, which is still on, right? And this is the first leg, right? And this is a bounce, and this is another correction. So this correction is a correction of this particular bounce. This correction is a correction for the main trend, correct? So this is kind of a child setup, right? If this goes down, then it comes back, so then your bounce is gone, correct? That means you continue with the main leg, which is like going down. So if it goes up, then this recovery erases this loss and then continues with the main. So point is, the I think whatever I'm saying here applies to every each and every coin, that if it comes down, that means this bounce is gone, then it's like a continuation. Only difference is this wave has shifted here, if you visualize it. So imagine if it comes down here, so imagine then this is like continuation of this wave, but from here, from a different time point of view. In that case, you forget whatever is the gain, as if nothing happened, and it is going down from this one like this, if it comes down. So hypothetically, if it comes down to this, so you have to forget whole entire thing and say this is continuing. So if you can visualize that way, so whatever time spent here, this is for nothing. And same time, if it goes above, right, then it erases this particular wave, and then you can imagine that it's a continuing from where it started. So if it lands here, then you forget that this is done, this is history. So it's that's why this is it's in balance. If you look at it, price over here would erase this loss, price over here would erase the gain. The whole balance, it's about balance where it goes. So that's why it's important, and you don't want to decide when it comes down to this, in my opinion, right? You can start managing your risk, because if it comes down to here, I'm not saying the trend will be broken. No, I didn't mean that. It simply means that this test, it has retested. But if you manage your risk in small chunk, you will be able to buy more from here if it bounces, right? So it's a choice. It's not advice by any mean, but this is my style. So anyone who's new might find very helpful. LTC is much better than many cards, though it's not moving up quickly. As far as the way that it's holding up price is really, really good, showing real strength in terms of resilience. It's really good. It's not dropping at all for last 3 weeks if you look at it. So that way it's strong. It's not strong as far as recovery is concerned. Like, it's not sitting somewhere here where it's like some of the coins already made all-time high. Some coins are near previous all-time high, or like April May high, right? This coin is sitting still near this one. So if from the distance point of view, actually the price is closer to the support than the high, correct? Unlike some of the coins which are sitting somewhere here. So from that point of view, this is weak, but it is strong as far as resilience is concerned at this moment for last 3 weeks of performance. So I think there are two different perspectives. Luna is good, but I called out that this is likely to correct. If it might surprise me, but I said, I added this box and I said, unless and until it breaks above R3, don't expect too much. So it might not go down, right? It could go down, but if the demand is very high, it might not go down. But I would say let it break above R3 if you don't want to be part of consolidation, because you might end up with this kind of sideways movement for a few weeks, and that might be very boring. So it's up to you, right? So this could go sideways, if not go down, not necessarily. Yeah, of course, if the overall market goes down, I'm not saying it will stay there, but if market doesn't go down, this could move sideways the way it moved here. If you look at it, it might do the same and then move up. Matic is moving sideways, showing strength, nothing major. It's not losing value, which is great. It's in perfect balance. and today is better, it's trying to break above, which is positive. So this is also moving away from the low and making progress. So I think it's up by over 6%. So this is good. If it breaks above R1, then it will be in a commanding position. At this moment, it's in right balance at this moment. So one is tricky. One is special coin. First of all, it's one of the strongest one. Why? Simple, because it's sitting here. It's sitting above the previous high, and amazing move last week. Right now, this week is little, it corrected, but it did really well. And it is, especially you have to consider this one, because I'm not saying forever, but at least for last few days it is going against BTC. If there is one coin, if I had to point out which coin might go against BTC, this could be the one. So I mentioned on the discovery that this could be treated as hedge, because when the BTC goes down, if there is nothing, you can say, okay, what one is doing. If one is doing well, then that can be an opportunity, even if I'm not around. Right? So you can keep that in mind. And as far as risk is concerned, I think that the support level is given. So this is very simple. First line of defense, then the previous resistance is second line of defense, and so on. Right? And only, I think you would be worried means there is a potential risk only if this low is taken out, which is 0.117, which is pretty low. And because it went up, this distance is pretty deep in terms of percentage. We're talking about 48%, 50%, which is pretty deep. That's why it is important that this is considered, and probably all this week's low can be considered. So don't don't worry if you have to say, this is my first one, this is my second stop loss, this is my third one, this is my fifth one, and this is my sixth one. There's no issue in having 6 stop losses. Then it's not silly at all. I had 4 that day. Look at that. So QNT, I mentioned this is potentially, so you see this is weakness, right? It couldn't break above the previous support. Right, this coin didn't do well, right? It was added when the correction started. I would say forget this coin for now, but maybe I should remove it. Yeah, this is like more, this has more risk than reward. So careful with this coin, doesn't look good to me. But risk management point of view, I think it's at risk, because it could retest this level, and who knows. There's no sign of bounce with this coin. Yeah, but anyway, if you're a fan of this coin, just make sure that you consider different levels. Don't wait for the last. SKL is weak, but at least not breaking below this level. So yeah, still within the box. We tried really hard to break above this couple of times, but not able to break above. Anyway, so yeah, this is also under downtrend. If you look at it, it's not able to quite get out. A little higher, but this is interesting. So this could also move sideways, and this is weak at this moment. If it breaks below the previous low, which is 130, not previous low, previous resistance, which is 135, you can keep this in mind, 135. If this is broken below, so this is your first line of defense, this is your second. Maybe this candle's low can be considered, because this candle had penetrated the support briefly. Yeah, and this coin hasn't corrected much from the beginning, so it's holding up as far as the big wave is concerned, like if you have to see how much from 23, 21 to 200, 10x, this wave is 10x, right, around 10x. So this correction is not um, point of concern. This is not deep enough, right? But you don't want this structure to be broken, right? Because in terms of percentage, anyone who entered here would be really low. If somebody had entered long back, no need to worry. Even if it comes down to 61, no need to worry, because if you entered here. But the point is, it depends on where you enter. I don't think one should just sit and keep watching what is happening. So if you bought here by any chance, and but if you have, let's say, 2 3 years of a time horizon, say, no matter what, I don't mind if you know, even if it goes down, I'm going to hold for 2 3 years, then there is no issue, because then it's a different story, right? But if you don't have that kind of time horizon, then I think it's better to consider all these levels, right? If you entered here, then of course this is not much. So it also depends on two factors. One, what was your entry point? Because then if you're on gain, you have more tolerance. Second is, what is your time horizon? How long you want to? Because everybody has different. Maybe I have money at this moment, but next year I have expense. Now, I mean, known expense, and my plan is to use my gain for that expense. And if I see my gain is at risk, I would try to protect my gain. If there is a planned spending for based on my gain, then I have to be protective. But if you say this is my spare money, it's like, even if I lose gain or whatever, I don't care, then it's a different point of view. Then it for so different traders, different goals, different you know situation. So that's why it's individual matter pretty much. However, I'm just trying to cover that don't copy anyone. Decide based on your situation. But my job is to say this has to be the first defense, this has to be the second defense, which is candles low. Because if it breaks below, then it could come down to 106 and then further down. Right now, it's not happening, but we're talking about potential risks. So I got to cover that. See, so this is SRM is putting pressure on this. So this was the point of bounce, 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 bounce. So now it has written back. That's not a good sign. So this level is under pressure. If you see this, you can draw this line and say this is important. So it's not, there is no rule that how many touches it can bear. There is no rule actually. You saw what happened on Bitcoin. It touched 6 times at 40k level, around that range, 6 times, and ultimately bounce. But when it comes for sixth time, you cannot just say, oh, there's nothing. You have to be watchful, right? So over here, it's not that because it has come down for multiple times, it is at risk. No, I think it's all about what level it breaks. It's not about touches, but more the touches, more the risk, because it simply means that it really wants to go down. But there is no rule say if it touches 4 times or 5 times, then it's going to go down. We saw with BTC, 6 touches didn't go down, went up. Yeah, this is facing hard time. The same time, it's like point sushi is like doing nothing kind of a thing. It's range bound, extremely noisy on a weekly time frame. This is like a not so good coin in terms of price action. Ugly candle, ugly candle. All these are ugly weekly candles. If I go to daily, then it's even worse probably. If the weekly candles are this bad, probably I feel like this should not be part of active list, because I don't think it deserves. As far as setup is concerned, it's not easy to manage this kind of coin, and it's very volatile. If I see this kind of a coin on a weekly, I don't feel good about it. So I don't know. I think I should remove. We'll see. So here you see correction, but there's structure. There is no chaos. There's a drop, went up, drop, retest, then nice bounce, then came down, but not all the way. It's maintaining this trend, right? If you draw a line from here, this is called structure. This is called structure. Decent, yeah. And there is a trend line here. So this is in a perfect balance at this moment. So if you look at this one, if you draw a line, when you would like to trade this kind of a coin, you see the difference now. So this is more predictable, right? Because it is giving you this line, upper line, lower line. You know exactly that if it is here, it's opportunity. If it is here, it's a risk. So easy, because it is having uniform structure. It gives that confidence. Now you look at sushi, for example. Look at this. What are you going to draw? I mean, you can draw, but so chaotic. I hope you see the difference. So that's why I'm saying this doesn't deserve. The chart should be pretty, good looking, right? So data is not bad. It's moving sideways, but again, this is pretty deep. But if it breaks below this candle, right, then a red alert. Okay, uni is fine, moving sideways. There's no price action, neither side, up or down. It's just flat for last few weeks. If you look at very narrow range, similar to Matic and couple of coins we saw. Right? So you can say this is the first. I would say this candle in this case, the big red candle, this low, and then this candle, and ultimately this candle. These three. So this one, and this one. All three candles low can be three levels for your support, right? So I'm going to record this session. I'm recording it and posting, so I'm not going to do a lot of line work here, too much, because not everybody is holding everything. And that's very. I'll post this and pin it on the charts channel, so it will be handy for you. Right. So this is. I don't think this support. This is too close. If so, but it's up to you. This can be this can okay for this one also. VET. This low is important. This low is important, and this low is important. Very similar structure. Like uni kind of a chart. This is uni, and these are almost like identical coins in terms of setup, right? And this is doing well, and so this is moving sideways, and I think this is very similar to tell the upper line and a lower line that I draw. Similar nice structure. So if it comes down, if it breaks above to this level, then it will shoot up. If it comes down to this level, then it will put pressure on the downside, right? Here it's like nothing. I don't know kind of a state, which is obvious. This is part of the game. Like it's called sideway movement or consolidation. It's nothing wrong. It's just part of the boring life cycle. You don't have a choice there. So VRA was really doing well, right? It touched this R3. It missed by margin, like little, yeah, missed by tiny difference. So almost there. Anyway, so this reaction is but natural, right? This is going to retrace. Now how deep it retraces is matters. If it so the blue line is the first support, which was R1, and then there is one more line. We have 0.047. There's another one, and then this candle. So this candle's low, you can consider this as another line of defense. But I think this is too close in my point of view. If it starts breaking below 0.047, then only that can be the first line of defense. that this candle's low is second and this could be the third. Even these two are just more aggressive stop loss in my point of view. I think this is the one because the way it's structured, any price in between is not going to put any pressure on trend. Only if the price comes down to this range, 0.026. But why I mentioned this, because even if it comes down to 0.026, in terms of percentage, it's very you know high, like 40 plus, which is a big number. Right? So that's why you may consider this line, blue line, and this low as two lines of reference, and if it goes further down, then that can be third and so on. So it's up to you. Waves is not bad, doing well. It's staying above the interim resistance which I had given, 25.3. So that this is good. Now for this one, this low, whatever is the low, maybe this candle, yeah, in this case this is 21.15. This can be treated as the immediate line of support, and this is the second one, which is $18, right, to support. But this is in a really good position. Even this is not the ultimate one. Okay, even if it comes down to this, it's not going to put any pressure. Only if it breaks below this, then it's a big one. But same comment as I mentioned for VRA, that you nobody wants to wait for this to come down here, right? So that's why. But now this is really in good position. If it breaks above R11, it's going to fly. XTZ was really doing well a couple of weeks ago. Now it's under some correction, but it's just a consolidation phase. There's no risk as such, unless it breaks below 5.5 in my opinion. Then you can say it's right now, but it's a big space. But what can we do? The way it moved up, it's forming this kind of huge space. So anything between this and this, you treat that as noise. If it comes below, then it's a potential risk. Yeah, I know the range is pretty high, but what can we do? Here's another flow. So I think I'm done. So let me quickly have a look at BTC. So BTC weekly is super strong. There is no need to doubt. Okay, and it is approaching the 59k, which is my next resistance. Only thing is, I feel that this is also resistance, and because see in recent past it went up like this and then corrected. It's not that it should correct because it has been going up for 3 weeks, but I see little resistance here. So kind of a sign of resistance here. So maybe it will push further up to 59k, and then it would retrace and then shoot up. So at this moment, I would not even think of any major downside because this is the strongest coin, right? I know there were a couple of other alts, but this is one of the top ones, right? And dominance point of view, it's also very dominating at this moment. You know that it's not able to let any other coins to grow. Very few coins which we have are able to do well. In fact, in general also, I saw many coins, but they're like pump and dump. One day it goes up and it's like, another day it goes down. And so, but I think after this call, at least you know which coins are at what level and better ones. So if you want, you have information, you can use it to reshuffle if you want, right? If you're holding something and if you think that it makes sense for me to reshuffle because of the situation, you have a choice. And feel free to ask me at this moment. And Bitcoin, I would say something is, I think Bitcoin is being used as a hedge. There's something going on. See, usually what I'm saying is because first of all, stock market is going under pressure. I'll show that as well. The stock market has been bouncing, but the way it ended today was not good. It's not a positive sign. But I also noticed that Bitcoin is being used as a hedge. If it establishes this trend, then Bitcoin can actually accelerate, and it won't care any kind of resistance. It will just break above all this resistance and just go haywire. I mean, and it will blast off. So it could really go up, and it could really beat all the alts in that case, and then probably it makes total sense to have Bitcoin if anyone doesn't have, just in case, because most of the people think that alts is where you make money and Bitcoin is where it's low. Yeah, that's the mentality. I'm not saying everybody, but most. But you have to rethink about it if you haven't, because this is a long run. This coin, as I always say, this is the first coin and it's going to be the last coin. Okay. uh, so but there are phases, right? So if anyone has money, probably I would say let it break above 59K, because it's so close and it's already under resistance in my opinion. And so that's why it's important. The reason for this call is this this phase, few days, where it is you need to watch more. I would say trade less. um, it's my suggestion, because you would like to see the direction, okay, where it is weighing more in terms of direction. You don't want to do in and out a lot, because my experience says when you do in and out you lose the most. Even if pumps, you have the levels I provided, don't worry. Even if it touches 59K now, you have plenty of, I'll tell you, I have higher target already calculated. Insane amount of gain we could see for all the coins. So I have no issue. My only suggestion is, right now these few days are not for adventure. That's my message. Okay, I'm not raising any flag as if something is going to crash or something, but try to be conservative for a few days and focus what is happening, right? And I already provided all the levels which will help you, and feel free to ask me, right? Because the pressure is more on the capital market. If you look at, the pressure is not just within um, within the crypto. I mean, it's pretty let's touch base quickly. See, the Apple, all this tech stock went down all of before the session ended. They were bouncing. Now again, they are not at major risk at this moment, but let me show you Nasdaq quickly. Okay, you see, so Nasdaq is, this is the trend line I'm tracking. There was a good bounce, failed. Another right leg, another good bounce, failed. Right now, you see this, both are doji candle. You see, this is the doji, this is doji, and now today it dropped significantly. It's going to, yeah, market is already open, right? And it's still dropping as I speak. So it already dropped by 0.13, nothing major, but you can clearly see that instead of going up, it's heading south. So, and if this line is broken below, you will see difference in Wall Street, because right now they are buying the dip talk. The moment this will break below, also let me, I think this is a moving average point of view. um, See, moving average point of view, this is 200-day moving average. Okay, the scenario is it could come down, retest, and then go up. This is what I'm expecting. If it does, then this is opportunity. If it comes down this level, around this level, and it should shoot up, then it's, when it goes up, that's where you catch. This is not value catch, but you let it go, do nothing, see what it does. Somewhere here, if it starts bouncing and it returns back to the same level somewhere, so it comes down and goes up, and this is where, so instead of taking here somewhere when in the during the return journey, that makes more sense. That's my personal plan. I'm not going to do anything. I'm sideways. I personally sold everything somewhere here, all time high, right? And I'm just watching, sitting, doing nothing mostly. So point is, my game plan is I want to see it what happens here, right? This is critical. Now this is everything is related to crypto. If not each and every hour, each and every day of price movement, it's not about that. But the whole game is related. We saw last year, right, during the COVID. So right now this loss is not much because it went up by 100%. But you will see the panic when this trend line goes down, right? And then a major one when this 200-day moving average goes down, because then they will really sell off, right? So we'll see how it goes. I don't want to go too much in future because it doesn't help. This is the immediate level. If it goes up, we'll enjoy, and that will be good for crypto too, my opinion. And if it goes below, then these levels, very simple. So this is important. If not ultimately, I mean, if not directly related, it's important. The global market is important. Okay, so we don't want to ignore it totally, even if you don't use this. So what else? I think that's it. I'm ending this session here.